Another exciting day on the pitch. Some late-night deliveries now on 4 highlights of England versus Australia in the NatWest series with Mark Nicholas.
Sport on 4 with Stepstone Online Recruitment. Your first step to success in your career, your life, your future.
It's Bristol today, and England meet Australia for the first time this summer in the NatWest triangular game. I'm with Michael Slater. The news is that England have won the toss and will bat, which exposes them to that great Australian threat at the top of the order.
Yeah, it is too, and Glenn McGrath, well, he comes with the reputation. That's always hard to face before he even delivers a ball, but it's his bounce, his accuracy that make it so tough for the top order batsman. Then at the other end, his partner, Brett Lee, sheer pace, sheer aggression and a personality to boot, you know. And he'll swing the ball away late, so there's experience, young, youthful exuberance that you've got to encounter, and then a bowling change, you think, wow, I'm through it, and then Shane Warne comes on. Once again, reputation, leading wicket taker in Test match history in Australia, and variation, accuracy. Unless you use your feet, I don't think you've got a chance against him. You can't really look to hit against the spin unless you're from the subcontinent, those wristy players. But, you know, it's sort of a top-line attack, full of variation, but they all complement each other.
And I think England under added pressure by the fact that they've got so much inexperience. The confidence isn't strong in the camp. They haven't played well in one-day cricket for a long time. They have to bat well first up this morning, otherwise we could only see Australia dominating again.
What a morning for Marcus Trescothick, who took guard first up amid sunshine in Bristol, and for Ali Brown, an acid test for any cricketer to play against Australia. Glenn McGrath, the bowler, to one would have thought a nervous Brown, but no. he carries on in just the way he might for Surrey in a similar situation. A glorious cover drive to get England going. It was the most lovely stroke, balanced and positive as he moved forward with his body weight into the ball, the sign of a player who really believed in himself. And having a look at him in the nets this morning, I had a suspicion that he felt good about the day. There is the England side, Brown at the top of the order with Truscothick. OS Shah is in for his first cap because of the injury to Michael Vaughan, a finger injury, another worry for England, and Robert Croft replaces Collingwood. He comes into Bodo's off spin. There is OS Shah, the Middlesex player who's had an outstanding start to the year. He's had so much talent for so long, and now he's really making it work for himself. The Australians, they've made a change, would you believe? They're working a rotation system, and so Matthew Hayden gets a game instead of Michael Bevan. You are a good side if you can muck about with players like Michael Bevan. Ricky Ponting reminded everybody that number 14 on your back means you can field above the gods.
There we go. That's a very loud nick. It was there to be square cut, and that's what Ali Brown's job is, but Glenn McGrath has just in the last over or so been applying some pressure, and Alistair Brown has gone. And this would tell you what a batsman thinks. Why did I do that? Early success for Australia. Ali Brown out for 12. It's a bit of a tester for two people out there. The one with the bat in his hand, Marcus Truscothick, because he's up against McGrath and Lee, and also for Lee, who's yesterday created an unwanted but happening record where he had the most runs ever taken off him by an Australian in a limited overs international. In the air and 4. A good shot.
Over the top. One bounce and into the crowd. Four more. Leg side again. 2 full from Harvey. In the gap, well timed. That's going to test the fielders. In the end, not much of a test.
England's momentum picking up when it needed to, and I believe that Nick Knight should be opening the batting with Marcus Truscothick in one-day games. Excellent record, a strike rate of 69 and an average of more than 40. Tremendous. Here's an over from Brett Lee, just getting quicker all the time, and around about 87 he levels out. By the end of the piece, I can tell you, he got it well above 90. This is a seriously fast bowler, getting himself back to full fitness. Harvey's a clever medium pacer, but he wasn't clever enough for Marcus Truscothick today, whose leg side punch strokes were exquisite, not just in their timing, but more specifically in their placement.
Slower ball, well picked and beautifully dispatched. All the way. .56 for 1. The run rate now 4 and over, and the Manhattan climbing. Good news for England. Lee tonight, down the wicket, straight as a die, and all the way, bouncing on the covers. Consecutive huge sixes to England, firstly by Truscothick, and now Nick Knight against Brett Lee, one of the fastest bowlers in the world. Brilliant! Nick Knight fainted to come down the wicket. Brett Lee probably thought he was coming down, banged it in short. 50 partnership up. Four more over mid-wicket. There's a man back at deep square leg. He's not going to get there. Wasn't all that short from Brett Lee. Brilliantly dispatched. It's an edge, but 4. Gone very fine between the keeper and the slip. Consecutive boundaries tonight.
Catch it!
There's a man out on the boundary, but he'll only catch that if he's in the seats. Nick Knight has put Shane Warne over mid-wicket for 6.
That's a fine shot. That has just been eased around the corner. It was beautifully placed, quite deliberate.
Nick Knight has been spurned of late. He was left out in Sri Lanka to start with, and he's still not opening now, and he would choose to if he could. He took advantage of the short boundaries, and they were short boundaries and a quick outfield, and the way he and Trescothick complemented each other, such positive instincts in their play, really giving a signal to the Australians. They were able to hit the ball hard, to improvise, to pull, and that's always a great stroke to play against Australian bowlers, to know that their opposing players were prepared to take on the short ball. In fact, all round the wicket they scored their runs, and really I thought they'd made a statement for England full stop over the whole of the coming summer. That stroke from Nick Knight was very, very special to hit Brett Lee straight down the ground for 6, and on they went.
That's a good shout. It'll be a question of him playing a stroke, and therefore, if he got his pad outside the line, he's okay.
It's been a while since the batsman's been deceived. Keeps coming on straight, no spin, hitting the pad, worth a shout, but a long way outside the line of off stump.
Hundred up for England, and it's been a brilliant exhibition. Those first 10 overs were quite slow, and the run rate has just gone straight up. Very, very brisk indeed.
Yep.
There's a man at deep point. Can't do it. Great shot. Beautiful stroke by Nick Knight.
Well, it's just another beautiful shot. He really has taken charge from the moment he walked to the crease, using the cut shot to the perfection and using the pace of the outfield. Matthew Hayden gave himself every chance.
This shows Nick Knight's skill as a one-day batsman. Look at the ball on the left from Brett Lee, and just as he's about to deliver, there he comes skipping down the wicket and smiting it straight over the sight screen for 6. Now 2 balls later, Lee coming in again, this time Knight there just feigning to come down the wicket. Lee bangs it in short, thinking he's going to run down. Knight rocks back and pulls it for 4. That really gave England the early impetus they needed.
Ah. 54 Trescothick now. His 4th 50 in limited overs cricket. Well, they just took him away from that spot at deep square. So Trescothick has smashed it square of the wicket instead of through mid-wicket.
100 runs for these two. They're still going. Nick Knight, he'll want to join his mate with a half-century also.
And that is a Dorothy. And a big one at that.
Well, for the uninitiated, while Ricky Ponting is showing off in the field, a Dorothy is a Dorothy Dix, rhyming slang for 6. Richie just loves that Dorothy. Terrific strike from Marcus Trescothick. Quite interesting to look at where he scored his runs, and what it tells you is how well Australia have worked him out. He's had no width to score on the offside, no cover drives, no square cuts to speak of. They bowled very straight at him, but he's been able to respond by scoring on the leg side. Those are the Australian bowling figures. 1 wicket for Glenn McGrath, who's been exemplary, but they've still got a problem with that extra bowler. Halfway through England's innings then, 127 for 1. They're playing really well.
Sport on 4, sponsored by Stepstone Online Recruitment. Sport on 4, sponsored by Stepstone Online Recruitment.
Have a look at England's one-day international record. They played a total of 328 matches, 68 against Australia. That includes the present one, of course. And the record is similar, really, against anybody else in the world. They've won and lost about half the games against everybody and against Australia. They need a win here. Pakistan lead the table because of run rate, but Australia threaten yet to be beaten. Those are the games to come. Plenty of them to enjoy all around the country. Bristol, Lords, Old Trafford, Durham, Headingley, Trent Bridge, the Oval, and the final at Lords. Nick Knight moved to 50 with a little nudge into the onside. He had to get his skates on. There was just half a threat of a run out, but he went to a splendid 50. I thought it was an interesting performance from Knight because he resolved to play his own way. Mark Waugh came into the attack as another one of the extra bowlers that Australia have to find. They've got good cricket brains, those two.
That's the one that mattered. They just had to break this left-handed partnership. Nick Knight, who turned the ball there on the onside. Marcus Trescothick, I don't think he hesitated. There might have been a shout of awe. Well, there was something happened there because Nick Knight hesitated. He probably saw that Trescothick at the other end wasn't coming as quickly as he needed. Trescothick out for 69. Run out with Shane Warne, the man coming around to make the throw.
Calamity upon calamity, an old-fashioned schoolboy mix-up. Trescothick and the unfortunate victim. 147 for 2 from 30. England had to keep the momentum going, but Mark Waugh was posing problems. As I say, if you've got a good cricket brain, it doesn't help half when you're trying to outthink the batsman. Stewart got into his stride with some singles, but never any boundaries, and so there was no momentum to his play, and England lost the pace in their run rate, and he just lost the pace.
Oh, Alex Stewart is a long way down.
Alex Stewart always looking for the singles, but that's poor communication. Nick Knight hadn't moved at all. Fortunate let off for England's captain there. Alex Stewart still fit at 38. He needed to be there.
Good timing in that shot. Picked the gap very, very well. And that's the first boundary since the 23rd over of the innings. No effort at all from Nick Knight. Sheer timing.
England have only lost 2 wickets. They've now got 10 overs remaining.
They've only scored 19 off the last 5 overs. Fielded. Shane Warne at mid-wicket.
He's playing a good role in the field these days, Shane Warne. He's got such good hands. Probably not as athletic as a Ricky Ponting or a Simons. But if the ball anywhere near him, he will dive. And with those hands, he'll stop a lot of runs, particularly in that mid-wicket area or a cover area. You'll never find him on a boundary.
What a catch! Shane Warne has done it at mid-wicket, diving low to his left. Knight's gone. Michael Slater was just saying how good those hands are. There's the evidence.
And there was a matter of, it was instinct here too. He's moved early, got there comfortably. But very rarely, if Shane Warne can get his hands on the ball, you'll hardly ever see him drop it. This is a superb catch and a huge wicket to Australia. Nick Knight, brilliant innings, comes to an end. 84 runs, 189 for 3.
Well, evidence suggested that Knight fell to a no ball, which gives you some idea of how all umpires are finding it extremely difficult to concentrate on the business end as well as on that no ball, the front line there. Shane Warne, a stunning performance. This is as hard as it gets to go to your left side, your weaker side, with a ball dipping low on you. That's as good a catch as you'll see. He is another one of the Australian side who's a natural games player. OS Shah is at the wicket now, first time ever, and he's got to face Brett Lee. Gulp.
And that was pacey, over 90 miles an hour. 91.4. That's what OS Shah's got to deal with. That's close. Not out. Thank you, says OS Shah.
Oh, let off early. As soon as that hit his pad, he would have thought, I'm in a bit of strife here. The feet aren't moving, the nerves, butterflies in the stomach. And that can't be far away. We'll trace the ball, maybe just outside the line of off stump.
Well played, premeditated. He's off the mark. OS Shah, domestic season for Middlesex, averaging 75 in the county championship, 56 in the Bensons, and just 2 innings in the National League. Very impressive.
It's been a good spell by Mark Waugh, but Alex Stewart has very much allowed him to bowl. He hasn't really tried anything against the off-spin of Mark Waugh at all. Just playing orthodox little clip shots. Stewart not particularly good against spin at improvisation. And just here knocking the ball into the onside, looking for the single and failing to get it. Good support from the Australian fielders, of course, but again, Stewart really not trying anything different against Waugh, whereas as soon as OS Shah came in the first ball, he manipulated a single. That's what Stewart needs to do more of.
Missing leg. Wow. I've either got that wrong or John Hampshire has, because he's got his finger up and Stewart has got to go. A very full ball from Brett Lee, very quick. Stewart was aiming leg side. We'll have to see the replay.
And interesting to see Alex Stewart's reaction. He's just scampered through for the single, not thinking to be out. And I can understand why. That's tailing in. He's back on the stump, so the ball hasn't got a long way to travel. But in my eyes, there's no doubt that's going to miss leg stump. So it was complete surprise for Alex Stewart that the finger was raised. Alex Stewart, 25 runs. It's 198 for 4.
This will be quick. And full. Not out this time. 4 leg byes. And hopefully not a broken toe for Ben Holyoke.
Well, the youngsters brought the 200 up for England. With 7 overs to go, suddenly the situation was a touch more promising after that loss of pace in the middle. No loss of pace out in the middle itself. Brett Lee hitting 93.5 on the speed gun, so a deflection for 4 was really quite easy.
Six is the sort of stroke that will make all the difference to that final target. Beautifully placed over extra cover. It was a very good stroke by OS Shah. Wonderful stroke. McGrath made the mistake of giving the batsman just a fraction of room. It's what Ben Holyoke trades on.
Towards this end of the innings, there is no room for error, even for the experienced Glenn McGrath. It's a sweetly hit shot by Holyoke. Very well timed and, more importantly, away from any fieldsman.
shambles out there. Harvey the bowler. Well, they're asking for the TV adjudication. Looked as though OA Shah was moving pretty briskly and no one showing a great deal of enthusiasm in the Australian side. 50 up for Holyoake and OA Shah. Direct hit would have done it. Great running. Takes a bit to fluster this Australian side in the field, but they've made 2 mistakes. The last 10 balls.
From the time he hit it, you could hear the call of there's 2 there, and that's good aggressive running by these 2 young players.
That's a wonderful shot. Over the top again. Another slow ball from Harvey's disappeared out through deep extra cover. Magnificent batting from these 2 young players. It's 261 for 4. And 49 have gone.
I suppose if you had to pick particular traits of the play of Shah and Holyoake today, you'd go for youthful exuberance, certainly. Timing, maybe. In Ben Holyoake's case, it's a lovely, natural, easy swing of the bat. And in Shah's case, improvisation, some brilliant stuff. When they left the field, they'd added 70. And all of a sudden, England not only gave them a standing ovation, but had a real chance. The stellar performance, I thought, came from Marcus Trescothick at the top of the order, but right up there in the sky with him were Nick Knight, OS Shah and Ben Holyoake. That partnership of 127 by Knight and Trescothick set it up. The Australians got away with it because of Mark Waugh, who came in and bowled 8 overs for 27 runs of his off-spin. 269 then, if they're to win the game.
Sport on 4, sponsored by Stepstone Online Recruitment. Sport on 4, sponsored by Stepstone Online Recruitment.
All the highs and the lows of one-day cricket in that innings from England. I've got Graham Gooch with me. It was a splendid start given by Knight and Trescothick, but England lost their way.
Yeah, certainly when Trescothick was out, Alex Stewart came in, and for me, he should have been much more aggressive. Nick Knight's role in the middle of the innings was to knock the ball around, keep the continuity, keep the consistency, the score moving. Once Alex Stewart had played himself in, to me, he should have been much more aggressive, take a lot more risk, try and get England up to a big total. Maybe England should have even considered having what I would call a play to nothing, sending someone like Dominic Cork in, have a quick bit of a thrash, you know, try and get 25, 30 as quick as he could, keep that momentum up for England.
Very good point from Graham Gooch about that middle part of the innings. A joy, though, to see 2 youngsters, OS Shah and Ben Holyoake, cash in at the end. It's 269 if Australia are to win it.
Another full house in Bristol, and everybody excited with the prospect ahead, not least this man. Doesn't matter how many times you've played for England, Australia is still a bit special. Tugged on his badge, he bowled very well, bar 2 balls where Mark Waugh cashed in on just an element of width outside the off stump. Mullally was nice and tidy at the other end, and it took these square cuts to give Australia any feeling of an early momentum. Watch specifically for the footwork. He is in the perfect position to play that stroke. He is a lovely cricketer.
It's in the air and caught. Away Shah, the catcher. He's got his first catch under his belt in an England shirt. And the danger man, or one of them for Australia, on his way back, Adam Gilchrist.
The plan has worked for me. With Darren Gough coming round the wicket to Adam Gilchrist, closing him down for room. That was the whole plan, not to give him any room at all. Just pushed at it hard. They've removed the danger man, Adam Gilchrist. He's gone for 4. It's 12 for 1.
Used his feet, got it in the middle. 6 runs. Brilliant timing again from Mark Waugh.
Well, sometimes they can look similar. Ponting has given that a tremendous thrash. Fine stroke. It's just fractionally inside the boundary, but it was really a short arm jab. There was a great deal wrong with the ball.
Yes.
It's a wonderful shot. Just a casual little flick behind point. That's a wonderful stroke. He played one in the last over, Darren Gothbold. Similar fashion. It's just a little roll of the wrists over the top of the ball, and it fairly flashed away. That's a fine shot. He's got both mid-on and mid-off reasonably wide. Ponting has just played a little bit more than a defensive stroke this time, but just raced away to the boundary. Oh, that's a cracker. It's a magnificent stroke. It was almost as though Ponting was waiting for it. Okay, I've hit him down the ground last ball. This one's going to be a bit shorter.
He is a very special player, Ricky Ponting. Rod Marsh saw him when he arrived at the academy many years ago now as a young man, and immediately with Ian Chappell judged him to be an outstanding player. He's equally strong off front and back foot. At the moment, it's his straight driving which is shining in his game. He's able to score off balls that aren't particularly full. Of course, if you drop it short to Ricky Ponting, he pulls well as well. There is the Australian rate at this stage, 66 for 1. Remember, the short boundaries are encouraging the stroke play. We mix it in to show you where we are after 20 overs, and they've moved on to 93 for 1. So the momentum is there, and Mark Waugh, oh, he doesn't always look at the ball.
Bowled him! Straight through. Mark Waugh finally misses one. Aiming through the leg side. No contact with the bat, contact with the stumps. That's what matters. Good news for England. Waugh's gone.
That's very good news for England. Mark Waugh trying to clip it through leg side. His favoured shot, and this time missing, and Don McCook striking. Just what England needed. Mark Waugh 46, Australia 101 for 2.
Mark Waugh has often served notice that he's a fabulous leg side player. Just see how he does it there, whipping that ball from outside off stump from Mark Elam, and particularly against the off spin. He's very good at wristily clipping the ball into the gap on the leg side, working it away for ones and twos. The reason why he's so good, just look here, this is Stewart on the left, who really does struggle against off spin, and Waugh on the right. And Stewart really tries to get at the ball on the left, whereas Waugh really lets it come on, waits for it almost to the last second till the ball's right under his head, and then knocks it away into the gap for runs. Of course, sometimes your strength can also prove your weakness.
Well, England had a period where they dried up the boundaries. The rate needed is that yellow line that runs straight across the picture from left to right, and Australia yet to get up to the required rate. Ricky Ponting, though, has set himself well. This is his 26th one-day international 50, and he had a grand ovation from the big crowd here at Bristol. They knew how well he had played, and he's gone high up the list of Australian one-day run scorers. Mind you, look at the top, a couple of wars.
There he goes, straight over mid-on and straight into the crowd. Damien Martin taking on the challenge. Big six over mid-wicket. Ponting really getting hold of that sweep slog. That's going to help the Australian cause, bring that run rate required down a bit.
It's firmly struck. Very well struck by Damien Martin. There seemed to be little effort in it. The timing was excellent.
Just don't get that feeling Croft's going to get a wicket. Cork's been good. 3.13 runs and over. Same with Goff. Mullally and Elam, a little expensive.
Australia 141 for 2. It's pretty similar to where England were at this similar stage of the game. England on 147 for 2 after 30 overs. Australia need another 128 runs off 20 overs. A top shot, just stood on top of the bounce and crashed it through the offside. He's in marvelous form. Wasn't that bad a delivery, but he put it away well.
He's enjoying himself. No respect, Ricky Ponting. He's bludgeoned that through the covers.
Just seem to be getting boundaries at the right time, just pacing themselves well, Australia.
Worth reiterating the comparative scores. England ahead at each stage that we show you, 10 overs, 20 overs and 30 overs. So encouragement there for the side in the field, an inexperienced side, desperate to prove themselves against the Australians, who have a fairly steady momentum at the moment. 150 for 2, with Ponting going so well. Don't underestimate this man, Damien Martin. He's not so well known, but he's very good.
That's the way. That's the way, boys. That's it, okay.
Top fielding from Dominic Cork. We've seen him a couple of times pull off some good saves. That's what you need at this stage of the game.
Absolutely thrashed. Good use of the feet, and he middled it quite superbly. And again, the momentum now starting to go back again in Australia's favour.
Now that worm, it's almost touching the run rate required and moving in the right direction if you're an Australian.
Catch it.
There's no stopping that. There's no one feeling in that area. Good shot selection. Knew there were empty spaces there. Placed it to perfection.
And with wickets in hand, you can step it up a little bit now. He's just pulled away, giving himself room. We see Ricky Ponting, when he's come down, it's been straight at the bowler. This time, Damien Martin just pulls back.
And there is Mullally taking the wicket for England. The pressure was on Damien Martin, and Mullally has broken through. Now that is what England had to have. They had to get a wicket. We're into the 41st over. It's 198 for 3.
Damien Martin coming down the wicket, but Alan Mullally adjusting his length and missing the ball. Damien Martin.
Oh, this could be dangerous. Needed the direct hit. Stewart was scrambling to get at it. Nick Knight threw it, gathering it in. He was on the correct side for the throw.
This is what England needed, the direct hit. It's been short of his ground. If it would have hit, he'd have been gone.
Ricky Ponting is on 99. It's 200 for 3. There's the 100. Very fast runner between the wickets, Andrew Symonds. Ponting goes to 100. Been a fine innings. He's played some glorious strokes, and that follows on the excellent innings he played against Pakistan at Sophia Gardens yesterday. That has gone a long way. It's one of the biggest sixes we've seen in this match. There have been a few beauties hit. Got to be out. Got to be out. Ponting has gone. He was coming back for the second, and Symonds, who is normally such a fast runner, declined the run. And from here it looked as though Ponting was gone, although it wasn't a direct hit. He's out by a matter of just a few inches, and the fourth wicket goes down.
Centurion Ricky Ponting on his way, and he's not a happy man, but England are.
The only way for the Australians with that 52 against 37 figure is that they must hit 2 boundaries very, very quickly. If they don't do that, then it's going to run away from them. It's gone over again. I think he's miscued it too. I'm very doubtful if that's come off the middle of the bat, but it's gone into the middle of the crowd. Now then, Darren Gough, he's bowling to Steve Waugh. That is very close. Leg bye called. Well, Darren Gough can muster a smile out of it. That's probably going to miss leg stump. That's nicely timed. Too well timed for the man down at third man. It's a very valuable boundary. Olim might have been an inside edge onto the stumps. Darren Gough has done the job. The Australians 230 for 5 now.
Andrew Symonds going for the big hit option. Darren Gough getting it straight, and England successful. Andrew Symonds gone for 23. Australia 230 for 5.
Over extra cover. Now, has that gone? Ali Brown doing the fielding. The third umpire's going to want to have a close look at this. Let's have a look from this angle. Alistair Brown palms it back before he touches the board. Brilliant fielding. Steve Waugh's on strike. Alex Stewart standing back. Don't think that's right. Steve Waugh advances and gets a boundary. A precious boundary to Australia. A good shot. Surely Alex Stewart's got to stand up to the stumps. Through extra cover, the dive. The man on the circle. No contact, but just 2.
Well, with figures of 10 overs, 2 maidens, 2 for 44, Darren Gough confirmed that he's a national treasure. Now, we had the big moment. Ben Hollioake. Alex Stewart got hold of him and said, relax, think clearly and try not to put too much pressure on yourself, my boy.
Ian Harvey on strike. Swing and a miss. Well bowled. Now, one thing Ben Hollioake will do is enjoy this. He's made contact, but picked out deep square leg. Just the single. Slower ball from Ben Hollioake. .14 to win. Fielded. Well done, young man. 3 deliveries so far, and he's gone for a single. There's a man at long on. Dominic Cork will get round. Restrict it just to 2 runs.
Back it up. Hold it. That's good. Well done.
Well bowled. Right up in the block hole. And well fielded by Dominic Cork. Clean pickup. England spectators enjoying this performance from Ben Hollioake. 4 runs off 5 deliveries.
Australia 11 off 7. England building the pressure once again.
Harvey, it's big, it's huge. Over long off for 6. The last ball of Ben Hollioake's over. Steepled high and handsome over extra cover.
One delivery, one shot can throw it in your favour. Ian Harvey, brilliant when it mattered. He's capable of it. Ball was in the right spot and he sent it.
Oh, all England felt a bit like that. So, we're at the end. 5 runs needed from the last over to be bowled by Mark Elam.
Well bowled. Five from 5. Mark Elam trying to get his captain's attention. He wants long on back. He wants his mid on back, Mark Elam. He wants him back. He hasn't been given it by his captain. Over mid-wicket, 4 runs. Steve Waugh releases all that pressure. It's surely going to go Australia's way now.
They only need 1 run to win. Didn't matter if any other fielder was back on the fence. That was perfectly placed. It's now 268 for 5. Scores are level with this shot.
Everybody's up, trying to save the single. Middle of the bat, another boundary. Steve Waugh does it in style. Australia victorious with 3 deliveries remaining. Consecutive wins in consecutive days.
A wonderful day's cricket, and though Australia get the final laurels, England can be proud too. Areas for them to think about in the batting with the middle of the innings, where they lost some momentum, and with a few last balls of overs that cost them. Australia are top of the table, and Ricky Ponting was man of the match.
They get better.